Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set in a vampire requiem, a requiem for London. It is fairly early at night. The moon is high in the sky, and it is barely 5:30. The sun sets quickly in London. And the doors to the Cirque du Macabre are open. Open for auditions. Looking for new talent of the freakish sort to unsettle and amaze, to horrify and engage, to hold in awe and terror. And the Ringmaster, along with his darling associate, Mr. Farthingale, are observing these tryouts. How's it been so far for the Ringmaster? How does he think tryouts have gone so far? You've had your fair share of amateur hour stuff. You've also had a fair bit of talent. It's been very hit or miss, but there's been some potential there.
So Josh was going to be sitting behind a desk. He's basically got a number of he's got a stack of papers to his left that are, the audition applicants. He's got a stack of papers to his right that is the applicants that have already been through the process. He just looks up at the person who's currently standing on the stage, and he doesn't turn his head to Farthingale, but he just says, "I bet you £5 that he's going to light himself on fire."
I hope so. It'll be quite entertaining to hear him scream.
Well, it's also because if you look, he's trying to do fire breathing. That's nice. However, I mean, look at how close. Look at how close he has the. And now he's putting down the lit brand next to the 3, 2. You basically see Joshua kind of stoop down under the table. 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna make a dice roll for that guy and see if he actually catches fire. Wow, much to your surprise, he doesn't catch fire. He actually succeeds at not making a complete ass of himself, although it's you reckon that must be quite painful.
So what do you think those are? I'd say at least 2nd-degree burns.
I'm tempted to see how loud he is, but I'll let them leave on this occasion.
All right. Next. He puts that one in the reject pile.
Farthingale is just sat on basically there's a pile of cushions behind you on a series of boxes. He's essentially made a sort of reclining couch out of some old plastic boxes, and he just sort of sat there leaning up against the cushions, head in his hand, just enjoying the show.
Okay, you shift for a few other people, and all but one of them shows any real potential. Only one of them shows any real potential. An aspiring gymnast. She seems like she could actually put on a pretty good show if you put her in the right environment and rough out some of the edges. Not that you're a gymnast, but you know that once one of your other acts gets back from overseas, could probably could probably give her a bit of tutelage, but the next person that comes in is a fairly small, like very petite woman. Like looks like she's barely out of university. Um, it seems to have dyed her hair white, but looks almost as pale as you do.
My beast
Has
doesn't immediately respond to her presence, does it?
No, it doesn't. And has fairly bright blue eyes. She certainly would stick out in a crowd. She has this very kind of wispy look to her.
Are we talking like striking looks levels of would stand out in a crowd?
Yeah. Probably not for something like probably not for something like physical beauty, but more for something like expression or performance, or just getting people's attention in general.
So Joshua looks her up and down, then he looks down at the basically everyone who's come in has had to basically fill out a very small kind of registration form. So he kind of looks down. He's basically looking for her name and what she listed as her act, basically.
Her name is. Oh, I'm in the comments section. I will move to private chat. Okay. Her name is Astra Locke, is how you spell it. She just moves towards the center of the stage. Turns, looks to you, bows, says, "Good evening, gentlemen." She is she is fairly casually dressed.
Well, Miss Locke, the stage is yours.
Of course, you wouldn't mind if I have one of you participate, would you? My tricks generally require a volunteer, or at least this one does.
He turns to Farthingale and just kind of nudges with his head.
Farthingale looks at you, looks at her, and just replies in a soft voice, "Does that mean I get to try my tricks later, boss?"
She's new. Play nicely.
Don't worry, all I require is for you to pick some cards out for me. It's all quite cliche, don't worry. I'm sure you're quite tired of it by this point.
When she says that, he goes, "Okay," and jumps up and like almost skips up onto the stage. At this point, the ringleader should be slightly worried. And Farthingale is getting a bit giddy.
By the way, Bishop, as she does this, I'm going to be paying particular attention to the cards, basically seeing if I can see what she's doing from the perspective of if this is like I do card tricks, hundreds of them a day. I'm going to see if I can suss out how she does it, basically.
Okay. I'm just going to check something real quick then. Okay. Uh, you walk up to the stage, Mr. Farthingdale,
Pardon?
and she'll briefly turn to face you, and she's just gonna ask you to pick out a few cards.
Okay.
And when she does that, basically, she takes out the cards, and in a rather blatant display, whenever you pick a card, because she'll show you the entire deck.
Yep.
You pick one, but you will not pick it up. It will rise up out of the deck, just levitate in front of you.
He grins and just says, "Can I show you a trick of mine?" Head cocking to one side as he says it.
Ooh, maybe afterwards.
Let her finish.
Okay.
I'm quite curious. Basically, it's a case of she is she's gonna find these cards. She's not gonna know what these cards are, and then she's going to locate them. Like, despite the fact that she doesn't know what they are. You pick
Okay.
up the cards. They slide back into the deck. The deck shuffles in midair.
Do I see what the cards are?
You see what the cards are. Yeah, you know what your cards are. She doesn't.
Okay.
The cards are not facing her, so she doesn't know. In fact, and they will. The cards will meet with a rest. Basically, between you and her, they will shuffle. And then after a moment of forethought, she will pick out the cards and ask you if they are yours. They are very much yours.
Actually, he's going to reach out, and is she going to let him take one of the cards she's saying is his?
Yes.
To look closer at it. He's going to take it. Look like he's examining it really closely, like squinting at it, really peering at it. And then he's going to turn it around with his fingers. And at that point, Bishop, reflexive action, momentary illusion. It's a different set.
Okay.
And so he shows her it, and after a second, flips it back round, and then offers it upside down.
For a moment, she looks disappointed in a rather innocent fashion. Keep in mind, your illusions always have to be unsettling in some way. They have to be creep.
Oh yeah, but that's what she knows what it should be. So he's just suddenly turned it around for a second and then turned it back. And now if she actually looks, it will look like the normal card.
I see.
The thing he's doing to unsettle her is she's certain she saw that be a different set for a moment.
Yeah. It could
He's
even
just
be
probing.
it's like a moving bloody-handed jack.
Yeah, he's just probing her at the moment to see how she responds to his tricks.
It's it's an almost innocent look of disappointment initially when she looks at it. It's not like she's disappointed at you, more like, oh, I got it wrong.
Let me show you something though, my dear. Watch this. He takes the card, still face down, and flicks it. Just holding on to it, just let it go doing. Just says, look. Shows the face back to her again. With it being back to how it was, like normal.
Oh, cute.
So
Baneforth, Joshua. Something for you to note is that you have found it very hard not to focus on the deck. You haven't really been able to figure out how she's done the trick because your eyes have almost been forced onto the deck. Like, it's been very difficult to focus on her. Or on anything else, really. It's just the deck. Whenever the
Miss Locke,
deck's moving, your eyes are just kind of drawn to it.
may I ask a favor? May I see your deck of cards?
Oh, why, of course. She'll actually hop off the stage and hand it to you physically.
So he does that very casino thing, where he flicks it down onto the table very, very quickly, and then he flicks it, basically, he turns it over, where you do all the cards in a line with just like a thumb of your finger.
Mm-hmm.
And he concentrates. Is there anything unusual about this deck of cards?
Unusual? No, nothing about the deck itself.
He'll say,
Seems to be
for
a
the
standard
record,
set.
when I do these auditions, it's only myself and Fardingdale in the room with the aspirant, and he'll say, let's be fair, Mr. Fardingdale's already showed you a little bit of a trick, but you also did something that wasn't exactly normal. I'm not one to beat around the bush.
Why, yes. Kind of. From my perspective, it's quite normal.
What perspective is that?
How to put it? It's just how the world works.
I tell you what. Do you mind if I tell Miss Locke? Do you mind if I tell you a bit of a story?
Oh, yes, I thought it was. She looks back up to Farthing there for a moment. I thought I was being auditioned, but okay. Why
You are.
not?
You have to understand that this circus, in many ways, is more than just a collection of individuals who stand out there in a sand circle and do little amusements for people. So, when I was much younger, a younger man, I had polio. It's not one of those glamorous diseases. It's one of those, leaves you all twisted, and it's never pleasant. But I managed to find my own truth, and I managed to find my own, well, my own path through simple little tricks, through making people smile, through making people laugh, through changing the way that people perceive what is true, what is real, what is up, what is down. And in the end, that set me free. So I built this place so that people, regardless of their inclinations, and people, regardless of the facts of their existence, could likewise find a place. Because in the end, yeah, we're different. But I'm curious. I'm more than welcome to have someone like you come and work with us. You just have to be open to the concept of working for us.
She holds up her hands in a very casual motion. Well, that is exactly what I came here for, after all.
I only have 3 rules. And if you accept those rules, he has a very small stack of actual contracts to the circus. Basically, so it's actually quote unquote legal. He'll say, if you agree to the 3 rules, just sign on the dotted line. The first rule is don't lie to us. Nice, simple. We don't like it when people are dishonest. The second rule is do not be afraid to be yourself. Being here means that we accept you for who you are and indeed what you are. And the last one, well, what you learn here, we keep amongst ourselves, and we will quite happily protect that secret, the secrets that we learn here, about, from, and by each other's lips. It stays within that sacred circle of trust. If you agree to these conditions, feel free to sign on the dotted line.
She has signed it by about the time you finished.
He'll extend his hand to her. Welcome to the circus, Miss Long.
Absolute pleasure to be here. I can, well, she kind of looks off to the side, almost as if she's remembering. Almost as if remembering something. I can do gymnastics as well. You don't have to hire that other woman if you don't want to.
I'm curious, what is the nature of your proclivity? Myself and him drink blood.
That's a very difficult question for me to answer. And it's difficult for me to explain why. It's less to do with I suppose it is to do with the complexities of my own existence, but it affects your perspective, so I can't really give you a straight answer.
I'm well versed in many things. Perhaps if you liken it to me, I can internally connect the dots.
Oh. She actually considers a considerable amount of time thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was going to say I make sure everything works according to how it should work, but that's not actually what I'm supposed to do. Or rather, that's not really the larger picture.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, it's a demon.
Yep.
It's pretty obvious.
Demon or angel?
Both of those are the same.
Well, yeah,
one's unchained, one's chained.
It's a philosophical perspective, really.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Well, a demon has free will, an angel doesn't.
Yeah.
Look,
that's the
simple
difference.
fact of the matter is that here, all of us are alike, and all of us are different. So you don't have to tell me what you are. I'm just going to accept you because you're you.
I guess you could say I'm like I guess the closest I could put it is I'm a supernatural chameleon.
Is that sufficient to roll my hilarious dice pool on?
You could try.
I mean, I'll take that. I think the biggest penalty you can hit me with is I think like -5. I'll take that -5.
I can hit you with as many penalties as I want, bitch.
Does it not go? I thought it capped at -5.
I can actually, yes, he can give you as many dice penalties as he wants. But I'll allow you to roll. What you'll get is a sort of, this is what this could mean.
I will say, from Farthingale's perspective, that description basically just sounds like someone with high obfuscate.
Yeah.
So
Of course, you know they're not a kindred because they're not reacting to your beast, unless they're using obfuscate to mask that fact.
Yep.
So, 2 of the successes. Unless I should have lowered my dice pool.
I guess you could say I'm a chameleon that protects things and people.
No. Then you and I will get on wonderfully. I'm not a chameleon, but I do the other.
I'm a bit like a chameleon, but I like to teach people.
Yes, you have a trick similar to mine. Although it works differently. It doesn't. Mine is more... the reason I say chameleon is because what I do is natural, even though it's not. So I say supernatural chameleon.
By the way... sorry, continue.
You are very much, I suppose, breaking the rules? Don't worry, I won't tell.
The only rule that ever applies is that you learn. Big grin on his clown face.
She smiles. I like you. I think we'll get along quite well. As long as we last. I hope we last.
Yay, new friend. And he's like patting his hands together like a child.
I mean, if you consider the circus has been going for about 40 years at this point, I don't think that we have any plan of suddenly, spontaneously ceasing to exist.
We've lasted 1 generation at least. That shows promise.
But welcome aboard.
Pleasure to be here.
Now then, I have to go back to what I will refer to as the sea of mediocrity that exists before me.
Oh, I wouldn't be so cynical. Models are full of surprises. A lot of them. Far too many of them.
I think that ultimately, mortality, the great gift of mortality is the fact that they can surprise you.
Yes. I knew one which once threw fireballs at me. That was a shame.
So yeah, he will go back to his vast list of ne'er-do-well fuckwits.
Yes. They are all terrible. It is a very, very sad night. Apart from a couple that again show potential. There is one that stands out. You think he could actually be you think he'd be pretty damn he's pretty damn talented. You think he should definitely be taken on. Again, a bit rough around the edges. He's fairly young, just kind of taking his big shot in show business. But yeah, he's definitely the highlight of the evening. Unfortunately, everybody else surrounding him is just garbage. So he stands out more just because everybody else is so bad.
What's his act?
God, you're making me think of circus acts.
Invent not NPC for which you do not have acts.
Hey, he's got you know what he has an absolutely amazing
limbo dance.
Not limbo dance. Fuck you. Sword swallowing. Get with the program. We're gonna do swallowing of all of the dangerous objects.
Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun with this poor fucker.
And juggling while he does it, because that's nice, right?
Mm-hmm. But with the auditions completed for the evening, Bastian, or sorry, not Bastian. There's a name I haven't said in a while. Joshua, he lights up a cigarette. To be fair, he mostly smokes out of the memory of smoking that once was pleasant. But he nods quite happily. Kind of, he offers the pack of cigarettes to Farthingale. Like,
no, thank you. He's just sort of grinning.
Mm.
Yes. You do get one other act. Stands out.
Mm.
Is this guy?
Hi, that guy.
Hey, guy. He just teleports onto the stage.
Fucking wizards.
Well, that was not something I was expecting.
Oh yeah, he's not on the list.
He's not on the list.
He's not on the list.
My immediate response is, "You're not on the list."
Really? Miss Nightshade directed me to you. I did know I had to be on a list.
I mean,
I thought doing this would put me on the list, to be honest. This is kind of the whole... I heard people were looking for magic acts, and that's kind of my whole thing. I'm very good at it, as you can tell.
I feel the sudden urge to give you... Okay, we're going to take a deep, soothing breath, and you're going to drink this very expensive whiskey.
I could use a lot of those. I've already had a lot of those. But thanks. He takes it.
You don't need to be that on, friend. It's fine.
It's okay. I'm very broke.
Very broke, indeed. All right.
Yes, it's quite amazing how brazen I can be and hold all of this wacky shit in the palms of my hands and still never make a dime.
What's your name?
Oh, my name's Tony.
Tony what?
Oh, Tony Mulligan.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Mulligan.
All my friends call me Tony. It's fine.
Nice to meet you, Tony.
There we go.
My name is Joshua, and right behind you is Mr. Farthingale.
Oh shit! You're terrifying.
Ain't I just? By the way, why don't you have some more of that whiskey? He's grinning at you with a broad, evil-looking grin.
Oh, but wait, what? What about the whiskey?
The whiskey is fine.
Yeah, for a second I thought he just poisoned me, and I was going to be really mad at Miss Shade.
No.
She's usually so nice to a poor old semi-homeless guy like me.
See, look, it's perfectly fine whiskey, and he gestures at it. Does Tony look at the whiskey?
Oh yeah. What was it look like?
Reflexive action. It looks like it's full of mucus.
Oh god! What the fuck? What the fuck are you giving me?
Nothing. What? Where's his hand back over?
I didn't come here to get fucked with. I came here for a gig that would probably last a month before something happened and I fucked up.
Farthingale leans right into his ear. He leans right into his ear and Farthingale leans right into his ear and whispers, "You came to the wrong circus, my friend."
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm figuring that out quite quick.
My apologies for Mr. Farthingale. He is very much Mr. Farthingale.
Oh, I get it.
There you go.
That's well. I'm concerned now.
You shouldn't.
I mean, I was concerned before. Now I'm very concerned.
Why is it that you seem to be so desperate for financial remuneration, Tony?
Well, who isn't? Again, it's quite amazing how you can have all this nifty stuff and still be unbelievably poor. And I'd rather not, rob people on the street, because that feels like it's rather on poor form. Also, things like that tend to have repercussions.
I tell you what.
Well,
I don't need to audition because it's clear you can do some very interesting things. My order called your type. Well, we have many names for you. As a matter of fact, my specific organization specializes in engaging your specific organizations in fisticuffs when it is that we engage in fisticuffs.
Oh, well, that's okay.
I'm not very violent, though. Don't worry.
Please, no burn. Is
Look.
that not what the kids say? They
Look,
use like
you're very nervous, and I
Yes.
understand that you're very nervous.
Yes.
You don't need to be.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
You say that, and this guy's right here.
Wait,
This guy.
Farthingale has got his hands resting on your shoulders, and he's leaning right over your shoulder with his face, and his like less than that, maybe like less than an inch away from your ear. And you can hear the fact he isn't breathing. He's just stood there, stock still.
Basically, what Joshua does is he puts his thumb and his forefinger in his mouth, and he lets out one of those really sharp whistles. Like this is his signal to Farthingale, like, no, this is enough. This is enough now. I need to talk to this person. Stop it. You've had your fun.
There's a moment when his head ticks slightly to one side again. He looks directly at Joshua, and then just says, his voice changing, "Okay, as you wish." Hands away. "This one's yours, then. I'll go look for another."
Look,
I'm not a bad guy. I just, I can't say I've done no evil, but being semi-homeless is, I say semi-homeless because
he slowly rotates on his turns on his ankles and just on his heels and just says to you, "Shush." Every mortal does evil things. I exist to remind them of where that road leads. Do not tempt me. And with that, he turns and walks back over to his cushions, where he just lies down and basically turns his back on you all, like a child who's slightly upset.
The fact of the matter is that every one of us in this circus are broken, weird, odd, but in our own way, that makes us whole. So I don't need to audition you. You've already shown me that you're special. I'm sure that we can come up with an act for you that does not break the very notion of space and time. But once again, you just have to relax. We're not going to hurt you. As a matter of fact, we own those. See that housing row over there? We own those buildings over there. You are more than welcome to take one of the rooms in there if you require somewhere to stay till you get on your feet. Free of charge. I can't quite speak for the caliber of the food because I don't eat particularly often.
Oh, that's fine. I don't need to eat.
You don't need to eat?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's kind of, it kind of helps the whole summer homelessness thing. Don't starve. It's nice. Everything else though, I'm super fucked.
Then we will do our best to unfuckify you. As I said, there are only 3 rules. Don't lie to us. Treat us with the respect that we deserve, for we are all members of the same organization. And whatever secrets you may learn whilst you're here, you keep them. Those are the 3 rules. If you agree to them, he slides out another employment contract.
Oh, damn. Well, I'll be. That sounded remarkably out of place. He just says.
Indeed.
All right, I'm going to go sign this, and then I'm going to go lie down. I'm not sure if this is just me being drunk, nervous, or both.
I tell you what, if you go outside, one of the other performers will happily show you back to the housing, and you can just pick one of the rooms that's currently free. There are quite a few of them.
Cool. Thanks. I'll hang around. I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure if I can promise it'll be long term. Things just tend to happen. That's why I'm semi-homeless.
That's
But
fine.
yeah. I will. He writes down, signs it, and I'll get going. I'll see you around. Mr. Bainforth.
Everyone just calls me the Ringmaster.
Oh, the ring. Ah, you got a title. That's nice. I like it. I don't have any of those. I'm just called Tony. Everybody calls me Tony.
And this is Mr. Farthingdale, he'll say, pointing his thumb over his shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed. Yeah. I. He mutters something in a language you don't understand, and then woof, he's gone in a puff of smoke. Very, very circus.
He turns to Farthingdale. Josh returns and he says, an interesting crop this evening.
He slowly sits up, turning over so he can face you. They're all somewhat problematic more than anything else. It's a shame you didn't let me have my fun. How am I supposed to teach them to be better people if you won't let me have my fun?
Get to know them. See if they are at least decent people to start with.
They're human in some form or another. They never are. No one is to begin with.
I thought you always found that children were good.
They're innocent. It's not the same thing.
Perhaps.
Innocence becomes goodness with luck or good training. That's why I train.
Quite true.
However,
Don't worry, I'm human. I can just speak across vast distances.
Thank you, Tony.
at that point, Farthingdale turns it tilts his head up and just says aloud in a slightly carrying voice, "Sleep with the light on tonight."
Ah, fuck.
You could just see Joshua start to laugh in his chair.
Yeah,
Actually,
if you are going to live with the creepiest clown in London,
now that the audition's over, there's one other thing, or one or two other things I need to do. As a matter of fact, I don't mind if you want to stay, Farthingdale. He takes out his phone and he starts to dial a few buttons on his phone. Bishop, I need to check up on some stuff. So we're gonna give our Alastor, aka the Inquisitor, a phone call.
Okay, 1 second.
I'll put it on speakerphone for Farthingdale.
Which Inquisitor? Is there a few?
The High Inquisitor.
Okay.
She's also the Alastor.
how do you have her phone number?
I just do.
Yeah, lucky you.
1 second. Yes, Bainforth, what is it?
He puts the phone down on the table and he says, I'm curious about something. Perhaps you can enlighten me.
I'm not exactly on call to answer your curiosities, Joshua.
No, but I somewhat believe that this is rather serious and that, well, you might be interested.
Go on.
So, as it currently stands, the prince has was it 3 or 4 revenants? I can't remember. I think it was 3.
It was 3. No, it was 4.
The prince has the 4 revenants secured away in his private prison, yes?
Yes.
Well, I was hoping that you could garner permission from His Highness to have one of them released.
Under what pretense?
Well, quite simply, as I and several of my friends are expendable, and he does have several options, the prince wanted the individual responsible for their birth hunted down. I assume he still does.
Yes. Insofar as I've been informed, the revenants are currently being placed into a state where they'll be able to do that to an optimal degree. Currently figuring out, I know they recently just figured out their feeding supply, but
that must
among
be
other things.
that must be a shocking amount of blood a day.
I'm not exactly an expert, but more than the average kindred.
Hmm.
Why? What did you want with them?
Basically, the fact of the matter is that now we need to start to think about our covenant in this city moving forward. And the fact of the matter is that now this prison of the princes has become public knowledge. I've already have it on good authority that the Carthians are going to have I'm not going to say riot, but you understand how the Carthians work.
Oh, well, it's always been an open secret. There have always been those among us, including the Carthians, who've known. It's just nobody knows where the hell it is.
Well, also there's now this issue of them openly of individuals. Actually, he won't say them because he's no to them. Of individuals openly breaking Invictus domain, if that's proven to be a Carthian, blah blah blah. But the fact of the matter is that things are about to get pretty unstable. I think so. It would be good to show the prince where the loyalties of the true church of the Lankea stand, and so if we were to offer to lead the first of the hunts using one of these revenants, well, needless to say, what would you be risking? You'd be risking one revenant, of which you have multiple, and the lives of a handful of neonates, myself included, that ultimately don't mean anything. And if we succeed, the Covenant gets major brownie points.
From what I can tell, they look like they're going to loose the revenants like hounds to track down their sire. So I have no doubt that in a few nights they'll probably be looking for volunteers to assist the Archons. I can put your name in early if you want. Get your face out there for the task.
Sure. Ultimately, I think that this is going to become a contest. The different covenants will grab or will grasp at each one of the revenants and essentially use them as their hunting dog. The fact of the matter is I'd like to at least get a pure breed hunting dog and, well, an optimal chance to bring them back home for our particular group.
I would consider that very optimistic. Most kindred have little love for revenants.
I'm curious, have you spoken to them in the prison where they're being housed?
Yes, most are unsettled, but in a better state than they were outside. The old man is remarkably at peace. Perhaps that's just his mortal age for you.
Perhaps. So, you say that in a few nights we're going to begin this little hunt. Good.
That would appear to be the case. I can't say with certainty. Things can and do change with regularity here.
Ultimately, as I said, I anticipate in the next while that there will indeed be some kind of conflict. We'll see how it goes. But I thank you for your time, Archon.
She sighs and simply says, "Then as you were."
Cool. He will hang up the phone. It's funny, Mr. Farthingdale, how far ignorance will get you.
Sounded like she knew a little more than she was letting on.
Oh, I do believe she did. No, I'm more so talking about the ignorance of these poor souls, these revenants, whom, well, shouldn't be and yet are.
I would argue the greater guilt rests with their creators.
Yes.
After all, these creatures would be kindred in different circumstances.
I will pray for their souls.
Let us hope that their souls are already gone to whichever rest awaits them. I like to imagine that's the difference between us and revenants. Their souls have gone on to rest. Ours remain behind, to sin or saint.
Perhaps you're right.
Incidentally, why does the prince have revenants? I would have thought he'd have them destroyed.
We found a handful of them lurking in the sewers. Apparently, something had sired them down there, and, well, revenants are apparently good trackers for their own sire. So he essentially has them as hunting dogs.
Seems a little cruel in some ways.
I don't question the prince. Also, he's Invictus. They consider anyone who isn't in their hierarchy to be beneath them.
A fair point.
God will judge them all in time.
Yes. Or perhaps we will. Who knows?
And I think with that would be a good place to end the scene.
Yeah.
Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.